60 Minutes Rewind.
When NBC began talking to Jerry Seinfeld about doing an offbeat television series, he was a moderately successful stand-up comic, and no one's expectations were very high. Today, 8 years and 151 episodes later, his show is the top-rated and most imitated comedy on television. A 30-second commercial on the show sells for more than $500,000. Just a few weeks ago, Jerry Seinfeld and his 3 co-stars told NBC they'd love to do a 9th season, if the price was right. According to Variety, $1 million apiece per episode. And with its entire Thursday night schedule hanging in the balance, everyone expects NBC to reach for its checkbook.
All right, settle, please.
It's his name on the soundstage and on the slate.
Roll sound.
But he's the most relaxed man on the set. In the history of television, only a handful of people have been as involved in a show or have gotten as rich from a show as Jerry Seinfeld has from this one.
We can schedule him Monday and Tuesday.
Nothing escapes his attention.
Spike is suggesting saying
He's either writing a scene, watching a scene, or acting in a scene.
You get a check as a writer.
Yeah.
You get a check as a actor.
Right.
Get a check as a creator.
Right.
You get a check as an executive producer.
Right.
And you get checks every time one of these episodes is shown anywhere in the world.
Right. And I get nothing for doing this. Nothing.
In the show, he plays a self-effacing straight man in the midst of hopeless neurotics. And in real life, he is a non-actor surrounded by one of the most talented casts ever to grace a sitcom. Jason Alexander, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Michael Richards are all good enough to have their own series. And now, thanks in part to Jerry Seinfeld, they're about to be paid like they do. And they'll tell you in no uncertain terms that Jerry Seinfeld's character is the least interesting on the show.
The focus is really the 3 of us.
How did that evolve? Or has it been that way from the beginning?
We're just much better than he is, I would say. Would you agree?
Is there a difference between Jerry Seinfeld, the character, and Jerry Seinfeld in real life?
Jerry in real life has much more money than Jerry the character. I'd say much more, actually.
I think that he's very compulsive.
He wants to know where a pencil is. He wants to know where the paper is. Here's his car keys, my jacket, and my whistle. He just wants to know where everything is. I don't know if that's a sign of insanity.
In short, the real Jerry Seinfeld is very much like the television character, at least before he got the sitcom. Even his mother calls him Mr. Perfection. He grew up in Massapequa, Long Island. His father ran a sign company, and on the day he graduated from Queens College, he took the subway to his first stand-up gig. It is still his first love, although he performs now only on rare occasions. Last July, we went with him to Atlanta. Millions had come to see the Olympics, but the hottest ticket in town carried you through the metal detectors at the Fox Theater to watch Jerry Seinfeld perform his best event. Yet backstage before the show, he seemed very much the wallflower at his own party.
What would you be doing if we weren't here?
Just waiting. One of the things you must master waiting as a comedian. You must be able to just wait comfortably. And they say the show's going to be delayed a half hour. You just go, fine. The plane's going to be delayed 2 hours. Fine. Career's going to be delayed 5 years. Fine. You got to be able to wait.
Are you nervous now?
Very, very nervous because you're here. And you're throwing me off.
Would you normally, are you nervous before you go out there?
Steve, can I call you Steve?
You can call me Steve.
I'm in this 20 years, brother. It's over.
What do you mean it's over?
All the tension, the struggle. I always wanted to be a comedian. My whole life I wanted to be a comedian. It's 20 years later. I am a comedian. Come.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld.
He is not just a comedian. Right now, he is the comedian. Aside from waiting tables at a Brewburger in New York and selling cheap jewelry and umbrellas outside Bloomingdale's, this is the only job he's ever had, making observations about life's little mysteries like seedless watermelons.
They've been working on this for 20 years, scientists devoting their lives. Other scientists working on AIDS, cancer, heart disease, these guys are going, no, I feel melon is my area. Yes, I know that thousands of people are dying needlessly, but that's got to stop.
How you doing, Jerry?
At 42, he is at the top of the world. and no one seems more surprised than Jerry Seinfeld.
I never thought I'd see it. You know, when I'd been doing comedy 15 years, 16 years. I wasn't going anywhere. You know, this is it. I got 45 minutes of observations about planes and cough syrup, and that's it. I get away with that. I make a living. And I thought, even if I ever did manage to get on TV, I'm not the kind of guy people get excited about, you know? I just do I'm like a good carpenter, you know? I do nice, detail work. You know, to me, Robin Williams, that's a star. You know, I just didn't think of myself as that kind of guy. And I'm not that kind of guy.
NBC didn't think he was that kind of guy either. They initially signed him because they were afraid some other network might hire him as a late-night competitor for The Tonight Show. They let him try a sitcom just to keep him busy, and preview audiences hated it. The research report hangs on the wall of his home in Los Angeles.
This is the audience test on the pilot back in 1989. Pilot performance weak.
No segment of the audience was eager to watch the show again.
Here's another great line. Viewers felt that Jerry needed a better backup ensemble. Can you imagine a better backup ensemble in the world than those three people?
In the end, NBC stuck its neck out and ordered 4 episodes.
Which is the smallest number of episodes ever ordered by a network. 4. I mean, 6 is a slap in the face. 4 is like...
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
He lives here in L.A. most of the year, out of necessity, not choice. He gave us a tour of his 2-bedroom home on one of his rare days off, pining all the while for his native New York.
So you don't consider this home at all?
No, it's a giant hotel room. I'm on the road. I've been on the road here for 16 years.
The house itself gives away nothing. He calls it a waste of money. Furnished by a decorator, it speaks to the owner's lack of interest or lack of time. The couches look like they've never been dented. It's more antiseptic than homey.
Do you clean this yourself, or do you have a crew from the hospital come in every day and
I
scrub
clean it.
down?
I spend half the day cleaning it.
Really?
Yeah, and the other half doing the show.
You could make microchips in here.
Hey, it's Jerry.
Hey.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey,
How you
how
doing?
fellas?
Seinfeld seems most at home here in his backlot office working with his show's writers, an elite mix of young television veterans who have worked at places like Letterman, Conan O'Brien, and Saturday Night Live.
Do you feel pressure to put out a good product? I mean, this is probably the best written show on television.
Probably. Probably.
They look as if they could be characters on their own show. Seinfeld says his writers are the next generation of TV executives, and many have already left to develop or run shows of their own.
Is there a tone?
It's bad things happening to selfish people. It's the easiest way to describe it.
You know, they always preach this thing of likability on TV. You've got to be likable. There's nothing likable about these characters.
No, they're shallow.
They're shallow.
Self-indulgent.
Greedy.
Greedy. Mean.
Mean. Treacherous. They will plot and plan against each other, close friends, for some short-term gain. They're despicable.
Why do people like them?
They're funny.
The story will continue after this.
The show's mean streak comes in large part from this man, its co-creator Larry David, the neurotic model for the George Costanza character. He began to whine about his bald spot and our camera angle even before the interview began.
The high overhead thing, I don't like it.
Until this last season, he was Jerry Seinfeld's partner and collaborator. Then, burned out and anxious to try something new, he quit, leaving Seinfeld on his own. Larry David has his own theory on why the audience loves some of the unprincipled characters he helped create.
It's the actors, because they're great actors and they can pull it off. This material in the hands of other actors, the show would be a disaster.
That material has included hilarious half-hours on unspeakable subjects that have worked because they've never been mentioned by name.
What's the matter?
My mother caught me.
Caught you? Doing what?
You know. I was alone.
You've done episodes on masturbation and oral sex, and you've been able to disguise all of it as family entertainment.
Well, what
you
a
do it?
scam.
How do you do it?
How do we do it? We're very good with language. I think it's funny to be delicate with something that is explosive. The challenge of handling kind of like driving the nitro truck of material down a dirt road became the game for us.
Do you guys live together?
I knew you looked familiar. Oh, no!
Take The Outing, an episode on homosexuality. Because Jerry is thin, single, and neat, a reporter assumes that he and George are more than just good friends.
Now everyone's gonna think we're gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. And I said, that's the line. That's going to enable us to do this show. Not that there's anything wrong with it. If we say that every time, we'll be able to say something about political correctness and cover ourselves on the other side too.
So some of it is like figuring out the right way to take on some of these.
Yeah, that's fun. That's part of the game. It's like playing by the rules. That's what makes a game fun, is the rules. Without the rules, it's not fun.
One of the rules that Seinfeld breaks is the one that says the star gets all the good lines. And the Seinfeld cast, Michael Richards, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Jason Alexander, have been the beneficiaries of Seinfeld's generosity.
I think one of the most amazing things he did from the beginning of the show is, unlike a lot of comics who come into a series, he was not hell-bent on making it a vehicle for himself.
You can see some people think. I don't see him think. Or I see him, it's almost like there's a machine going on back there. You can kind of tell it's working, but it doesn't reveal anything about himself.
He's a very smart guy because he's private and he keeps his privacy, and it's separate, it's mature, and I think that's why he's a stable person. So my guess is you're not going to get to see the really private part of him.
It was very funny.
What we saw of Seinfeld's private life is the part that's already very public. His longtime relationship with Shoshana Lonstein, a UCLA student half his age.
There's just a nice relationship going on. We're happy. We have a good time. I think maybe it's because I'm so immature and she's so mature that we meet in the middle.
You think you're immature?
Oh, yeah.
In what ways?
Name one. Go ahead, name one.
Sexually?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm embarrassed.
Huh?
I am not going to talk about being sexually immature on 60 Minutes.
But you think you are?
It's not 60 swinging minutes, you know.
Right, right. But you said name one, and I named one.
Okay, well, I'm 42 years old. I'm not married. That's not real mature. That's nothing to be proud of. You know, I should have settled down by now.
Are you going to get married?
Yes.
To Shoshana?
I hope. I don't know.
Have you asked her?
No.
Are you going to ask her
I'll get
today?
married. You know when I'll get married? I'll get married when somebody like John F. Kennedy Jr. gets married.
You got married?
Really?
Yeah. Are you married?
No. You're used to talking to too many liars.
Do you get upset?
Can we get some powder on my face? No. I'm sweating.
Come
in. Go ahead.
Do you think, God, did the tabloids drive you crazy?
No, I love it.
You do like it?
Yeah, they're
fun.
fun.
How does Shoshana feel about it?
It was hard at first, but we got used to it. Can you use this?
Sure.
The tabloids are fine. They make up stuff, you know, and that's fine too. People that read tabloids, I think, deserve to be lied to.
What's the happiest you've ever been?
I guess now. I guess I would have to say now. I never thought I could do what I'm doing now. And I'm very proud of the fact that I believed in myself and that I turned out to have something because I didn't really know. And so the fact that I bet on myself and didn't lose is a pretty deep reward.